Hello, my loves. I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome in to this video for the solar shift into Sagittarius. So first things first, if you are new, hi, welcome in. It is wonderful to have you here. What we're going to be doing is talking a little bit about astrology, and then we are going to be using our own astrology, learning about it, and then tapping into the spiritual tools of the oracle cards to get guidance on how to best utilize our personal astrology during this season. So if this is your first time here, you may want to go watch my tutorial video on how to get the most out of these readings. It is not necessary, but it's a tool there for you if you want to know how to engage with this material in a deeper way. For those who are not new, hello, welcome back. It is so wonderful to have you guys here. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's a pleasure for me to offer this support in this way. It brings me so much joy, and I hope you guys all know how much I truly love you, care for you, and am excited for your journeys. If you want to support me, there's many ways you can do that. Just engage with this material. Share it with people you think it will align with. You can also comment on it and let me know what is resonating for you, what questions you have. You can also donate if you feel inspired at paypal.me/devotedvulnerable. Link is in the description. And you can go to my website, devotedandvulnerable.com/services. Link is in the description if you want to learn more about the services that I offer. I offer card readings, I offer guided meditations, I offer a bunch of different other things, so go there and check it out if you feel called. No pressure. With all that being said, let's jump into Sagittarius season. I'm so excited to bring this energy to you guys. Sagittarius is my favorite sign. I am totally biased. I am a Sagittarian sun. I'm a Mercury Sagittarius. I'm a Saturn Sagittarius, and I'm a Uranus Sagittarius. So I am quite Sagittarian in my astrological makeup. Don't worry if that didn't make sense to you. Basically, I have a lot of Sag energy. So let's talk about what a solar season is. A solar season is when the sun, the spotlight of our solar system, is in a particular sign. The solar season of Sagittarius will start on November 22nd when the sun moves into the sign of Sagittarius, and it will last until December 21st, until the solstice, when the sun will then move into the sign of Capricorn. So during this solar month, and I will refer to this as the month as we go through these readings. So please understand when I say this month, I do mean solar month, November 22nd to December 21st. We're going to be focusing on the Sagittarian energy, the Sagittarian archetype. So your readings are going to be based on where Sagittarius shows up for you in your chart. Essentially what planets, the sun, the moon, and or your rising sign exist in the sign of Sagittarius. Now, if you do not know what planets and aspects you have in the sign of Sagittarius, do not worry. This is part of what we do here in these readings. We learn about our astrology. To get caught up with your own astrology, to get access to your own chart, to know how to read it and find out what planets are in this sign, watch my tutorial video. I have this tutorial video created for how to find your birth chart information on astro.com. Link is popping up here, and it is also in the description if you want to go and enter in your birth data to that site. And you do need to know your birth time in order to access this information. So go ahead and watch my how to find your birth time tutorial to get caught up on how to find your birth time so that you have something to work with the chart generator. So we're going to be spotlighting the sign of Sagittarius by finding out what planet, the sun, the moon, and or the rising sign is in Sagittarius. You will watch the readings and the explanations for every single planet that you have in Sagittarius. So for example, I mentioned that my sun's in Sagittarius, so is my Mercury, so is my Saturn, and so is my Uranus. So technically I have 4 readings this month because I have 4 planets in the sign of Sagittarius. I know that might be a lot of information for you, but this is when the sun, the spotlight of our galaxy, is really highlighting these elements and aspects of your life. So it's really fun to dive into how this is showing up in your life, how this archetype may be expressing itself through you, through the planets. I'll describe in each video what the planet in the sign of Sagittarius really means before I dive into the reading and the advice. If you do not have your sun, the moon, your rising sign, or any of the planets in the sign of Sagittarius, there's a video for you called Background Sagittarius. I'll explain in that video what that means, but you can watch that video if you don't have any of those aspects. So a little bit more about Sagittarius. You want to look at your Sagittarian suns for this entire month as well. Watch how they shine. Watch how they act during this time. So anyone with a birthday between November 22nd and December 21st, I call it spying on the solar sign, so that you can really learn more about this energy. The Sagittarian archetype is the archetype of the archer. And the archer has this bow and arrow that it's aiming. And what is it aiming at? It's aiming at anything it wants to. But the thing that Sagittarius loves to aim at the most is truth. We love to aim at truth. Truth is one of our favorite things to aim at. It is essentially the energy of this archer and or centaur. So we can be adventurous. The Sagittarian sign is adventurous, congenial, which means likable, dreamy, very, very idealistic, very, very focused on what it is that we are wanting in our lives. We are optimistic. We're always looking at the positive side of things, and we are intellectual. So I say we because, yes, I am in the Sagittarian archetype, but this is going to show up somewhere in your life as well. So it refers to you as well, no matter where it shows up in your chart. So the modality of the Sagittarius, meaning the way that this energy expresses, is through the modality of what's called mutable. You see the little arch with the dot underneath it up there. And that's the symbol for mutable. Mutable signs are always the signs that happen during a change in seasons. So in the Northern Hemisphere, Sagittarius happens between the change from fall to winter. It's not quite winter yet, and fall's kind of winding down. And so the energy of the Sagittarius is very changeable, mutable, very adaptable. It's constantly shifting. The element of the Sagittarius is fire. It's represented here by the triangle. The triangle is the flame going up towards the sky. And so the element of fire represents the spiritual world, the spiritual realm. So when we put those two together, we have this changing spirituality. That is a lot of the essence of the Sagittarian archetype. Not only are we focused on truth, you have to be a seeker of knowledge in order to gain this truth. Through adventure and experience, we learn in our lives. And so it's this ever-changing spiritual nature of the Sagittarian archetype that we're going to be exploring and spotlighting for this entire solar month. I created a little explanation page here for you guys to show you a few different elements of the Sagittarian archetype. So you see here the symbol represented by the arrow. Next to it, we have, of course, the archetype, the archer. The planet that rules Sagittarius is the planet of Jupiter. Jupiter is all about expansion. It's all about luck. It's all about making things big and bright and energy. So the Jupiter energy is this amazing hugeness in our galaxy, in the story of the zodiac. And so it rules the Sagittarian sign because they're so very similar in their energies. The key word for Sagittarius is idealized. I would also say that the key word is truth. You can see here the constellation of Sagittarius. And again, we have the element of fire represented by the triangle, the modality of mutable, that changeable energy represented by the half circle and the dot, and the house of Sagittarius. So each zodiac sign represents or rules a house. So they go in the order of the zodiac story. So Aries is the first sign in the zodiac story, so it represents the first house. Sagittarius is the 9th sign in the zodiac story, so it rules and represents the 9th house. You can think of the planet as the what of your zodiac story, the sign as the how that what expresses, and the house as the where. So the where of the ninth house is very Sagittarian in energy. It is all about learning, travel, adventure, spirituality. It can deal with mental health. It can deal with higher learning. That is where the energy of the ninth house represents and shows up in our lives. Now, more about the houses will come through in my moon readings. The new moon in Sagittarius happens a day after this solar shift. So after you watch these videos, you definitely are going to want to watch the new moon in Sagittarius video, where we are going to be focusing on the house energies, where this new moon is showing up for us in our lives, and the advice that's coming through for the lunar phase of Sagittarius, which is going to start one day after the solar phase. All right. So for this reading, we are going to be consulting the Isis Oracle by Alana Fairchild. And if readings aren't your thing, please feel free just to watch the explanation of your energy and let yourself play with how that expresses throughout your solar month. But we can also use the cards to get more insight on how to really capitalize on this energy. The Isis Oracle wanted us to focus on freedom this solar phase. So freedom is a huge theme of the Sagittarian archetype. I haven't really talked about it yet, but it deals with this expansion. In order to be free, you have to be able to expand. In order to expand, you have to be able to be free. If you're confined, you're not able to expand and you're not free. So we're going to focus on how to get ourselves to open up to a more free way of living. That is what the Isis Oracle really wants to bring to us for this solar season of Sagittarius. So in order to focus on this freedom, the Isis Oracle is going to bring us this little poem, this little affirmation to say throughout our solar phase, to really activate within us this free expression that we are looking to embody during this Sagittarian season. This is a very, very powerful deck, and I am excited to share the medicine, the power, and the beauty and the wisdom that this deck has to offer. We have covered everything that we're going to cover here in this explanation video, and we're going to dive into our individual readings. So this video is for you if the sign on the horizon when you were born, your rising or your ascending sign, was in the sign of Sagittarius. If you're already familiar with the Ascending Sagittarius energy, you can scroll ahead to the card reading. So the ascending sign has lots of different interpretations and meanings. We'll talk about my two favorite. It's your motivation for your life. It was on the horizon when you were born. You came in, you took your first breath, looking at that energy on the horizon, focusing on it. And it's also your appearance. It's the first appearance of the sun. It was what was on the horizon. So it's how you appear to people. It's your first impression. So your motivation for life and your appearance to other people is encased inside of the Sagittarian energy. You seem adventurous to people. You seem likable. You seem like you're focused on the idealism of the world, like you're optimistic and like you're intellectual. You're motivated by these energies as well. You're motivated by this changing spirituality, by having different adventures and experiences and learning different things in order to understand more about life. This is your motivation. This moves you into life. You may also want to check where Jupiter shows up in your chart, because the ascending sign, the ruler of the ascending sign, so the ruler of Sagittarius, in this case is Jupiter, shows your motivation. And then wherever Jupiter shows up in your chart shows where you're steering your ship towards. Okay? So there's a great book called You Were Born for This that dives into this a lot more than I'm going to dive into it here. But just so you know, you can check where Jupiter shows up in your chart and find out a little bit more about the direction of your life. So you look at which sign it's in and also which house it's in. Okay? And that'll tell you kind of how and where you're navigating your life. Okay? But in general, you have this amazing appearance of being optimistic and likable and intellectually focused, and you're motivated by these energies. You're motivated by this passion. You're motivated by spirituality. You're motivated by truth. Okay? Let's see what the Isis Oracle wants to share with you to help you embody freedom. If you haven't already, taken a few deep breaths, called in your spiritual support team, and opened your heart to receive the guidance that's most aligned for you, I invite you to do that at this time. All right, Ascending Sagittarians, let's see what we have going on for you here. No frickin' way. Hold on. This card is just flying out. Hey, my beauties, my babies. I love you guys. This is the 4th time this card has shown up. If this card has shown up more than once for you, my beauty, the number of times this card has shown up in this reading for you is the number of truths that will be unveiled during this solar season. Okay? So if you have any other signs in Sagittarius, any other planets in Sagittarius, and if you have Saturn in Sagittarius, Pluto in Sagittarius, and or Mars in Sagittarius as well, count how many times it showed up for you, okay? Yikes. Truth unveiled, the revelation of Isis. Okay. So, let's read from the deck, and then we will get into what this really means. Okay. Truths unveiled, the revelations of Isis. There are times when appearances of people, places, and things are truly deceptive. You will sense this when something feels uncomfortable within you, when you notice feelings of anxiety or doubt within you. You may think that there's something wrong with you, but actually you are intuitively sensing that something is not as it appears to be. It is wise to trust your inner feelings rather than being convinced by outward appearance. There is a situation in your life, especially involving relationships, where something is not as it is being made out to be. To avoid undue suffering later on, Isis guides you to truth and revelation now. So, here's our affirmation. We're going to repeat this over and over again as much as it feels supportive to us to help us unveil the truth that is being revealed here through this card. Okay? Through this solar season, through this spotlight. It's like, okay, you can't hide anymore. The spotlight is on you. This truth will come out. And it'll bring freedom with it. Thank God. Okay. So if you have YouTube, you can put the captions on. It'll help you write this down. Let me say a few words, pause it, write that down, and then press play again. And keep doing that till you've written everything down. Eventually I'll find a better way to do this, but right now this is what we're going with. Gift me with your vision now. End the distortion or the vow that blocks the eye within my brow. I receive this knowing clear, without doubt, shame, or fear. Lies and deceptions disappear. Revelation of Isis, come to me swift. Thank you for the sight, the truth, the gift. Confusion into clarity. I now do shift. So there's some sort of truth that we're not seeing that's hindering freedom in our motivation and hindering how we show up to other people. So there's something in our lives, a person, a place, a thing, a belief, a lie that we've bought into that our bodies probably already started giving us messages about, but we may or may not have been listening. And we need to see this truth. Sagittarius is all about aiming at truth. Okay? But to aim at truth, we have to cut through the lies to get there. We have to see what it is that we're not seeing. We need to let this affirmation and our connection with Isis really guide us through this solar phase. This is a huge, huge theme for the sun in Sagittarius energy, right? Sagittarius loves to aim at truth. And again, we are not aiming clearly enough at truth because there's something that is blocking our vision. There's some sort of lie that we get to the bottom of. We get the gift of this awareness coming through with the solar season to really help us to right our ship, to direct ourselves in a way that is going to be supportive for us. This is our motivation. There's something that's motivating us that's out of alignment. We're being motivated by something that's not true. A belief maybe about ourselves. What I'm hearing is perhaps it's a belief about our value, who we are, of what it is that we're here to offer, that might be a belief holding us back. We also might believe that we are stuck somewhere, that we are imprisoned somewhere, because again, we're talking about freedom. What do we need to be free? Well, we need to know that we are free. We need to address the belief within us that makes us feel like there's something that's holding us back. Whatever you feel is holding you down might be a lie that you've bought into. Maybe someone's told you, maybe you have told yourself. Whatever it is, it's holding you back. It's keeping you chained. It's keeping you prisoner. There's some sort of lie keeping you prisoner. That's really what I'm hearing and feeling here. That is keeping you from being free. And it's this lie has been motivating you. And this lie has been causing you to show up to other people inauthentically. Okay? Because there's some sort of truth that needs to come through for you to be like, oh, I understand. I'm aware. Like, this is what's been going on. And now I can move forward with a different motivation. You're definitely going to have a shift in motivation this solar phase. No doubt about it. A new truth, a new awareness. I'm feeling like it has to do with yourself, like how you see yourself, because the ascending sign is how other people see you. But it's also, you know, what you see when you look in the mirror is going to be shifting for yourself based on this truth, based on this understanding, based on this awareness. And if this showed up again in any other reading for you, any other alignment that you have, please pay attention to this and look at each individual nuance. Okay, if it was, just go back and watch the readings, right? Mars has a different interpretation than Saturn, than Pluto does, okay? But all of these combined, holy moly, Sagittarius is coming out like, nope, no more lies. We're cutting them out. Time to pull the veil down. Let us see what's true and let us move forward into freedom. Let us be free from the shackles of the past. Let us move forward into the truths. Let the gifts of these truths be unveiled so that we can be motivated by the truth within our beings, the truth of our own worth, the truth of our free nature, to choose freely, to support humanity in accessing freedom, in expressing their freedom, in being a species that is free, that lives free on this planet in a cooperative and loving way. And perhaps that's also a motivation for you as well. But you are motivated by truth, my friend, and you are being held back by a lie. Okay? But it's going to come out. So nowhere for it to hide. The sun is on this area of our lives, this aspect of our chart. The truth will out this Sagittarian phase. And thank God, because it's time for your freedom. You deserve it. You embody it, and you, more than any other sign, Sagittarius loves freedom. Okay? And so you shine, you appear to others as a very free person, and you are motivated by this freedom. You need this truth to get out of the way. I'm just going around in circles here, so I'm just going to end this. So much love for you. Reach out to me. Let me know how this is resonating with you, and let me know how I can support you in this. If I can, ask questions if you have questions. And as always, namaste. The universal light within me salutes and honors the universal light within you. Namaste.